Today I'm going to go over database connection with Java, and I'm going to download and install MySQL, and I'm going to make this app right here, Project 23 database, single package, single class. In the class is the main method. I'm going to make this application talk to my MSQL that I downloaded and installed. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's go to the web browser, and I already searched MySQL download in Google. This came up at the top. I'm going to click MySQL downloads, and I'll just scroll down here and look for MSQL community GPL downloads. That's what we want. And I'm going to go to MySQL installer for Windows. I'm going to go ahead and click it, and I'm going to take this top one right here. All right, download. All right, now I don't have to sign in. You can if you want. I'm just going to say no thanks. Let's just start my download. And there we go. I don't even have to pause the video. It's pretty quick. I'm going to click the open file. There we go. And click yes. And click yes again. All right. So I'm not going to do the default, developer default. It puts a lot of stuff you don't need in. I'm just going to do custom and hit next. I'm going to put the MSQL server in there. MSQL server 8.0. Hit that green arrow, move it over here, and that's what's going to be installed. For applications, we're going to need the workbench. So go to MSQL Workbench, MSQL Workbench 8.0, and 8.0.22. Hit the green arrow, move it over. All right, I'm not going to put in the connector just now because I don't need the whole package. I just need the jar. This connector/J is what we're going to need. So I'm just going to put these two things in here, click next, and hit execute. I'm going to pause the video because this actually takes a couple minutes. All right, so that took about 2 minutes. And now I'll just hit next. You can see these are both completed. Hit next here. And it just freezes for a second. Here, let me do it again. Oh, nope, it's free. There we go. All right, so now we're in, I'm going to take all the default values. This port 3306 is a typical MSQL port. We're going to hit next, and here you have some scary message about the encryption. We're using MSQL 8, so we want that. We want the strong encryption. Hit next, and give yourself an easy password. All right, because it's presumably you're using this local for development. So that was weak. That's all right. And standard system account. That's fine. And execute. All right, I don't know if I should. I'm going to pause this because I know this takes about 2 minutes too. And it took about 2 minutes. All right, so now I just hit finish and next. And you can go ahead and have this start MySQL workbench after startup. And here we go. And here's MySQL workbench. All right, let's go ahead and log in at this local instance. There we go. And get your password. And we still have some old data. I don't think we still have the database. I had it under my roaming profile. So I'm going to do a show databases. Whoops. And let's see if I got that. Show databases. Yeah, I don't have it. I deleted it. I deleted it from the last. I had to do this video a couple times because the downloads would mess up and stuff like that. All right, so let's go ahead and make our database. Hit this. The tab defaults down here, which is kind of strange. There we go. And I'm going to make a database. I say create database Bigfoot. All right, you can highlight this line, or you can just, as long as you're on that line, it should execute just fine. There we go. We created our database Bigfoot. And what else am I going to do? I'll use Bigfoot. See if that works without highlighting it. Nope, I got to highlight it. There we go. All right, and let's create a table. Create table members, say ID, this is the hard one. So I'm going to make it an int I'm going to make it auto increment because I don't want to have to keep track of that. I'm going to make it a primary key. And then I'm going to put another column in for the name. And varchar is database speak for strings. So it'll be a max length of 25, or you give it a length of 25, I should say. State varchar 2, because I'm just going to use abbreviations. And then sightings, that's going to be an int. All right, I guess we should just highlight this whole thing just in case. And boom. All right, there we go. I don't think you need the semicolon. I think I just do that by default. All right, now let's insert some one member anyway. So we'll insert into members, pass in a name, a state, and a number of sightings. All right, and the values will be Earl, and he's in PA, and he had 4 sightings. There we go. Run it. Yeah, it worked fine without the semicolon. All right, now we got to get our driver and see if we can talk to this database. So I'm just going to shrink this down. And I'm going to go back to the community downloads. I'm going to go to connector J. And the operating system I'm going to use, I'm going to do platform independent. But I don't want a tar. So if you have like Linux or probably Mac, use your tar. I'm going to use Windows, so I'm going to do the zip download. No thanks, just start my download. And there we go. I don't know if I should pause that. I don't know how long it's going to hang. I'll go ahead and pause it. Oh, I only had to pause it for like a second. Open file. And I got this over here. Let's extract all. I'm going to still extract it to my downloads because I'm just going to copy the jar into my Eclipse. All right, everything is extracted. Let's go ahead and open it up. This is the jar you want, right? So I'm going to copy that jar. I'm going to shrink some of this stuff down. I'm going to go over to my databases, right click. Come on, right click. There we go. And make a folder. All right, what is it? Folder in here. Let's see, folder name. I'll do lib. There we go. There's my lib. I'm going to put the jar in the lib. Can I paste it? Do I still have it? Yeah, there it is. There's my jar. So now I just have to set the path so that I can get this jar. So I want to go to my project here, right click, hit properties, and I'm going to go to Java build path. All right, then I'm going to go to my libraries tab right here. I'm already here. It's the third one here. I'm going to hit add jars, open this up, go to my lib, click on this, and hit OK. All right, and when we're doing Maven, this is going to be a lot easier, but right now we're just doing regular Java, so you have to actually add the path and the jar and everything else. All right, so we're moving right along. Let's go ahead and get a URL for our database. All right, so string URL, JDBC, and MySQL, colon, so 2 colons there. This is a colon right here. You can't forget these or you're going to get this strange jar file not supported if you have a typo here. 127.0.0.1. That's my local host. Colon 3306 Bigfoot. All right, that was the name of my database, I believe. We'll find out soon if it's not. I'll do a try, and I'm going to do a connection. CON. I'll do it. Get this driver manager. Driver manager dot get connection, and I'm going to use the method with 3 arguments, So I'm gonna have my URL, I'm gonna send over my username, and I'm gonna send over my password, right? This is just dev, so we can do that. Do Control-Shift-O to make sure your connection gets installed. Let's go ahead and finish our try catch. So catch, and we'll say SQL exception. That should get every exception that we're gonna have to worry about for this. And I'll just do print stack trace. There we go, looking good. All right, now that we have a connection, let's go ahead and get a statement. And I'll do CONN, create statement. There it is, create statement. Control-Shift-O. And we want the Java SQL statement. Now go ahead and get a result set. We're going to execute a query and get a result set. So result set, rs, statement, execute query, select star from members. All right, and then we only have one member, so we don't really need a while loop, but we might add more, so let's do a while loop. So we'll say while the result set has a next element, sysout control space, rs get string, and we'll do name. All right, here's the moment of truth. Go ahead and save everything, run it. There we go. We got Earl. So we connected to our database, and we'll talk about this more, but this is my SQL statement. If I go ahead and copy this, I bring up my workbench, I paste it. That was my result set. ID is 1, Earl, PA, and 4 sightings. So we can get other stuff in here too. So let's say we want to do, let's concatenate rs get state, or get string, and then it's going to be the state. Let's get all of it. And sightings, rs, I always want to do that, get int, there we go, and that is sightings. Oh my gosh, there we go, sightings. Hold on, I forgot my plus sign to concatenate. I'll put this on another line. Looking good. And there we go. We got everything, Earl, PA, and 4. All right, so that's it. We were able to connect to our database, and we downloaded, installed just what we needed for our development, and I had to do the connector separately, just put it over here. I think that was pretty successful, and let me know if you have any questions.